All right, so a video that a lot of people have been asking about, or a question that a lot of people have been asking about. Fly, where have you been at for the roughly of a year and a half when it comes to iRacing? And the short answer of all that is, well, first of all, let me say it like this then. When it comes to the YouTube side, right? I've been still here and there doing iRacing or whatever. Um, the biggest thing was back in 2022. I got hit with a community guideline strike for a live stream that I did on my channel way back in like 2019, 2020. Basically, the community guideline strike was on the terms of hate speech or whatever. Pretty much somebody called somebody a maggot, but used the F word when I had a few Call of Duty live streams up on this channel and stuff like that or whatever. And it took them 2.5, almost 3 years later for them to do something about that or whatever, right? I try to fight it, try to appeal it and all that old stuff. They still hit me with the strike or whatever the case may be. And they say that as long as my page is in good tenure for, I think, either 3 months or a year, something like that, the strike will go away. Right now, the strike has went away and stuff like that or whatever the case may be. But, it kind of had rubbed me the wrong way or whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? I'm on YouTube all the time and I see people on videos, the person that's making the video, people in the background, whatever. And I hear the F word being dropped all the time. And their videos got millions upon millions of views and stuff like that. And ain't nothing being done with it. But my little stink ass live stream video that only had about 200, 300 views get hit with a community guideline strike. So I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I kind of felt some type of way about that, right? So when it comes to the live streaming aspect, right? I was already, multi-streaming on Twitch and YouTube at that particular time. But when I got that community guideline strike, I couldn't live stream on YouTube for a whole week. So I started doing everything more on Twitch and stuff. And I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I pretty much just stayed along and just kept on doing Twitch. That's what I was doing. So I had stopped going live on YouTube back in 2022. Here and there, I'll do one-off random live stream or whatever. But for the most part, though, I just been solely, strictly on Twitch when it comes to the live streams and stuff like that. And it's been like that, ever since then until present day. Nowadays, I'm going to try to get back into the whole multi-streaming or whatnot. When it comes to streaming on YouTube and Twitch, because I know a lot of people always ask like, Fly, where you been at? Where you been at? I mean, here and there we see you drop a video or whatnot, but we haven't seen you going live or anything like that. That's where I've been at. I've been on Twitch, Fly Guy Only 773. I'm on there. I'm live every single day. You hear me? So that's where I've been at when it comes to the live streaming aspect, right? Secondly, when it comes to just overall iRacing content in general, it got to a point with iRacing that, I just wasn't feeling it, man. I just wasn't having fun with it no more. Couple things that had transpired and stuff like that. I'm sorry, I'm a very prideful ass person, so sometimes in my prideful ass ways, I will fuck up something good just to, please my prideful self. I've been working on that since, for forever. I know the issue, but hey, that's where it stemmed from. I'm a very prideful person. It was a one incident where I had got suspended off of iRacing for not using my real name. And that right there turned into a whole big old hoopla and stuff like that. Because I'm sitting there, trying to understand and try to figure out, when it comes to iRacing or whatnot, why they so keen and so, invested in me using my real name. Why I can't use an AKA name or alias name or a name that, whatever, you know what I'm saying? But they was keen that they wanted me to use my real name and stuff. And that right there didn't sit right with me. I've been on social media for a long ass time. I've been making content for a long ass time. And one thing that I have learned over the years making content and stuff like that, you got a lot of people out here, because it has happened to me before. You got a lot of people out here with just that little bit of information, or just knowing your first and last name and stuff like that. Before you know it, you're getting doxxed. You getting, weird things coming to your house, swatted and all that goofy ass shit and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Calling jobs and all that goofy ass. Like, there's a whole bunch of goofy stuff. You know what I'm saying? And I was trying to explain that to them. I have been through situations like that when it comes to having a online presence or whatnot. So I really don't feel comfortable, you know what I'm saying, broadcasting my real name out there to, hundreds of thousands of people, or however it may fit, right? But they wasn't budging, or whatever the case may be. So from that point on, right there, because the YouTube thing and the whole name thing on iRacing and stuff like that kind of like happened like within the same little time frame or whatever. I just kind of lost the love and the passion of being on iRacing. So slowly but surely, me being on iRacing or doing NASCAR content in general was getting slower and slower by the day, by the week, by the month, so on and so forth. Where to the point where I was just doing strictly Call of Duty. I made a whole nother page and everything, and I'm just doing strictly Call of Duty. You feel me? It was just a lot of things that played a factor into it. Even when it came to the racing and stuff like that, I'm sitting there and, I'm one of those people that, if I finish in last place off of pure speed, like everybody else is faster than me, and I finish last place off of pure speed, I'm completely fine with that. You won't hear me bitch complain, moan. I'm completely fine with that because that's a me problem. But it started to get to the point that every single race that I do, when it came to officials and stuff like that, it's like people around me and stuff like that was just constantly driving over their head. And I don't know, was it a whole, oh, this guy is streaming, so let me show him up on his stream that I can beat him, and then they overstep their boundary, or it was just the lack of intelligence. I don't know which one it was, right? But I started to feel some type of way about that, because one thing I learned quickly about iRacing, you have a lot of cliques, you have a lot of sororities, you have a lot of, fanned out people and stuff like that. And a person like me, I hover around in the 3Ks or whatever the case may be, right? So not the best in the world, and nor am I trying to be the best in the world, right? But I can hold my own, though. People will race me a lot differently and a lot more aggressively and do a lot more stupid shit around me versus a guy that's a 6K or a 7K or 8K driver. Then the person will somewhat have common sense and common knowledge to race that person smart. Like, I see it all the time. And I'm not saying in a jealousy way or anything like that, but it gets very tiring where I'm sitting here, I'm trying to do good, I'm trying to have fun or whatever the case may be. I know I'm a very voiceful ass person. I know everybody's not gonna like me. I'm not here for everybody to like me, right? But when I sit there and I see somebody, prime example, right? Somebody stayed out on old tires, right? We all pitted behind him. He knows off of GP, we're all going to be faster than him. The guy that's in front, well, that's about to pass the guy that stayed out on tires, he's a 7K driver. The guy that stayed out on tires, he might be a 4.2 or a 2.7 driver. He instantly keys up. You can have it. Take it low. He lets the 7K by. The next guy in line, 6.2 driver, he lets that guy go by. But when it comes up to me, though, and look, it might just be placebo, but when it comes up to me, though, and I got the same pace as these guys, but it says I'm a 3K range driver and stuff like that, I don't get no key up saying take it low. No, I get held up. I get raced hard to the point that this guy is on my outside racing me hard as shit. Racing the shit out of me. He downshifting and all types of shit to try to maintain his position to the point that he's getting loose on the high line and he self spins and wrecks me. And it's like, that started to be, an ongoing occurrence when it came to doing not hosted races, official racing and stuff like that. Like I said, you got a lot of people on here that, me personally, I don't give two fucks about your IR. Like, I never gave two fucks about that shit or whatever. But some people on here, they really like, their life is just, oh, IR. It gets to the point where people won't even talk to you because you're a lower IR in them. It's like, bro, it's just a bunch of numbers. Like, there's a bigger and better world out here than this iRacing shit. Like, this IR shit don't mean nothing at all. But there's a lot of people that's how they carry themselves. That's how they conduct themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like, they will be the worstest enemy, the biggest asshole to you because you're a low IR person. But to the high IR people, though, they'll kiss ass and, act like a fanned out fan. You know what I'm saying? So it was, those situations, constantly being involved in wrecks and stuff like that because, the common person, the typical person, right, the typical squeegee, they're not going to sit there and look at my stats and be like, okay, the races that I see him racing, saying that he makes it all the way to the end, he races pretty good. He holds his own. He gets good finishes and stuff like that. Maybe his stats is so low because maybe he gets involved in wrecks. No, the first thing that they gonna think in, because this is coming from a squeegee type of mindset, the first thing that they gonna think is, oh, you just suck at the game. And it's like, bro, like, I ain't the best, but goddamn, man, I can hold my own. You know what I'm saying? So me trying to, somewhat chase that whole rabbit and stuff like that and try to please the masses and stuff like that, or whatever the case may be, the shit just got tiring to me, man, because it was like, this shit is so much out of my control, out of my hand that, I can't do nothing about this. You know what I'm saying? I can't help that I got wrecked into. I can't help that the guys in front of me can't hold their line or can't hold their shit together and stuff like that. They wreck, I get collected. I can't help that the guy behind me, he gets impatient. He bonsaied into the corner and turns me. I can't help that. The only thing that I can help is my position and my overall speed. That's the only thing that I can help. And a lot of this, like in this portion of the video right here, if a lot of my races just came down to me finishing last place off of pure speed versus me finishing last place off of me being wrecked by somebody else, I'll be totally fine with that. I will accept that because that's just me. I got to pick up the pace. But when it's just an ongoing occurrence over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, the shit just get tiring after a while. The shit just gets boring. Especially when you got to know how these races are set up and how, you sit there, you're waiting for the lobby to go live. You got 30 minutes of practice, so you're waiting on 30 minutes of practice. You got to do all this little quick adjustment real quick with your steering, your brake bias, and all this old shit. You know what I'm saying? You got to pull up all these tabs and stuff like that for all your data and information and numbers all on your screen and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? You got to do qualifying. That's 5 minutes of waiting around. You got to grid up. That's 2 minutes. After all that waiting around to just go into a race and get wrecked out lap 1, turn 1, or get wrecked out, lap 5 or something like that, the shit just got tiring to me. It's like, damn, I'm sitting here waiting to do a race. I done got everything set up. I'm ready to go just to get wrecked out in lap 3, just to get wrecked out lap 4. And I know somebody's going to be like, well, that's how NASCAR is. I mean, come on now, you're racing NASCAR. Believe me, I get it. I understand. You ain't got to talk to me like a child. But what I'm saying is when it's a ongoing currency, when it's constantly every single race, in my head, it has got tiring to me. Some people got way better luck than what I got. I got terrible luck when it comes to iRacing. My luck is terrible. I'm telling you, it is terrible. I sit here and watch some people race iRacing. They don't never have a wreck around them. And no, they're not in first place all the time. They be admired in the pack, but a wreck will never happen around them. They got way better luck than what the fuck I got. But when I'm on iRacing, holy shit, it doesn't matter where I'm at on the track. It's some stupid shit about to happen, bro. My luck is so bad on there. But yeah, man, it just it just got real old real quickly and stuff like that. So, roughly for the last, I probably say, late 2023, I would want to say. until present day, my time on iRacing was very stagnant. It got to the point where, I'll race and be on iRacing for, a couple times a week. It went from me being on iRacing every single day to me being on iRacing a couple times a week to, me being on iRacing, twice a week. Then till me being on iRacing once a week. Then once a week turned into once a month. Then once a month turned into once, 3 months. Then so on and so forth to the point where, I think my longest stretch that I went was this little stretch right here. I wasn't on iRacing for like 10 months. I wasn't on iRacing. A lot of has changed and stuff like that. I'm trying to get back into the swing of things or whatever the case may be. But I wasn't on iRacing for like 10 months straight. Like, I just said the hell with it because I just got tired of the bullshit and stuff like that. You spend all this money to get all this stuff and all this, all that, and whatever the case may be, just to have this, type of quality performance, from the community. And don't get me wrong, with me, bashing and saying all that, there has been a lot of races that, was phenomenal, where, good racing, good hard racing, good clean racing. But at the same token, there's been a lot of racing where it's just, what the fuck is this? Why am I wasting my time doing this right here? Like, this is just a waste of my time right here. And another thing too as well, let me also add this as well, right? I look at myself as being a streamer, right? I'm not a person that streams. There's a difference between a streamer and a person that streams. No disrespect to, anybody, anything like that. They, take this the wrong way. But a lot of people that, streams iRacing or whatever, in my eyes, I look at them as they stream, right? They just stream. They're not a streamer. They just stream. Basically saying that, I know everybody's schedule is different and stuff like that or whatever the case may be. But, only stream the game for the most part 2 to 3 times a week any goddamn way. I started to look at it like, well, goddamn, this person got more viewers than what I got. And they only stream the game like 2 times a week. Why I can't do that? You know what I'm saying? So that was the mentality that I started to take. Like, well, if he got more views than I got, and he only streams about 2 to 3 times a week, I can do that too as well. So that's why I started, streaming iRacing, once, twice, 2 times a week, or whatever the case may be. Really started to get into that cycle. Another thing is iRacing, when it comes to streaming, it's very hard. It's a very hard game to keep an audience there, hours upon hours and stuff like that when there's so much downtime in iRacing. Between racing, this race finishing up and you're trying to make the next one, but the race that you was just in went over, so you missed that one. So now you got to wait for this one, but that don't start them to another 30 minutes or 40 minutes and stuff like that. It becomes very hard to stream sometimes. And, I started getting into that cycle too as well. It's like, I want my viewers, to have fun, to be entertained and stuff like that. But us sitting here, waiting for this race to start for the next 30 minutes is like, well, this is not entertaining right here. You know what I'm saying? So it was just a lot of, nuanced things that was going on that just started bubbling in my head and stuff like that. And that's why I just wanted to make this video real quick to explain, the situation and what was going on, what was transpiring. But it was just a lot of things that was just going on, what I just explained right now, that, it just, took the love and took the passion of me wanting to be on iRacing away. Slowly but surely, though, you know what I'm saying? Definitely after the Chicago Street Course race and the hype of the Chicago Street Course race coming back up, I kind of got a little spark again that I want to jump back onto iRacing. So I've been kind of, back on the iRacing, kind of a little bit more, I guess you could say, every day now. I'm just trying to get back into the swing of things. You feel me? It is, you know what I'm saying, a great tool. It's fun. You have your moments. Oh, let me also say this too as well. And a lot of people that I came on to iRacing with, that got me onto iRacing, they're no longer on iRacing too as well. So that right there kind of played a factor too as well. The people that, introduced me to iRacing, got me onto iRacing, the people that I race with, you know what I'm saying, if it was, officials or hostess or league racing and stuff like that, they're, going off doing, other greater, bigger things, or life changing, and they got to do other things, whatever the case may be. So that right there was also a factor too as well when it came to me being on iRacing every single day. But like I said, slowly but surely, what I'm saying, I'm trying to get back into the swing of things. Hopefully this is not a fluke. Hopefully the passion will come back. I'm gonna try to give it another swing or whatnot. One thing that I definitely do want to say though, I went live yesterday on YouTube, and the the sheer love that I got from people that I haven't seen in years. What I'm saying, still rocking out with me, still supporting me whichever way possible that he possibly can. I definitely do appreciate that. It was definitely a breath of fresh air to see a lot of people that I haven't seen their names in forever. Saying still be around, still be locked in, still be tuned in with me. I definitely do appreciate that. Definitely do. So I really wanted to make a video because I feel like saying for the most part, y'all deserve to at least have a little bit of a insight and an understanding of the situation that was transpiring and stuff like that. And I just wanted to be transparent with people, saying to let them know, saying what was going on throughout this ordeal right here. But nonetheless, though, I ain't gonna hold y'all too much longer. I appreciate everybody rocking out with me. You already know I'm rocking Bullet Cool in school on a bit, man. Hey, man, say, man, yeah, man. What I'm saying? We're going to try to make this bad boy go back into how we used to do it and stuff like that, man. So only in due time, what I'm saying, we're going to make this bad boy pop, though. But other than that, though, man, peace, love, and blessings, and positivity. I appreciate y'all rocking. Appreciate y'all support. Appreciate y'all always coming through. And until next time, I'll holler at y'all big and fools the next one. Peace, love, and blessings. I'm gone. Holla.